Hi, I'm Jennifer from Shabby Fabrics. Just look at these adorable Valentine's projects. This is a 4-part series and I can't wait to show you how to make each of these easy and fun projects. We'll start off with the no-sew wreath and bow. We'll go to the Danish heart, followed by the heart garland, and then the treat bag. And again, these are great things to do around that time of the year, and they're fun to do with your kids too. So let's get started first with the wreath. It looks like it's, don't you just love the look of that? And it looks complicated, but you're not gonna believe how easy it is. All you'll need is to start with a ring. We just picked this up at Joann's. We have the Essential Gems Ruby Days pack. This is from Wilmington prints, and I love these strips. They're 2.5 inches. There's 24 in there, and that's we used almost the entire pack to make that wreath. The only thing that we didn't make out of that was the bow, and that was just a simple little pin dot, and I'll go over how to make that too. Now I'm going to give you a couple options today. What we did with ours was simply insert the squares into the styrofoam. We didn't even use any glue or pins, but I'll get to that in just a minute. The first thing you'll want to do once you get your 2.5 inch strips, and this is a great value too, saves you time in cutting the strips, but then you'll need to go ahead using your 6.5 inch ruler and just cut those strips into 2.5 inch squares. So they're already cut 2.5 inch by 42. Just lay them out, and you could stack multiple strips on top of each other so it's even faster to cut everything out. Just cut 2.5 inch strips. You'll need about 400 of them to get a nice full wreath. Now we've got these adorable scissors available on the website in a variety of colors. Not only are they super cute and nice to just snip some threads, but in this project, they were perfect for inserting the squares into the styrofoam ring. So just approximate where the center is, and you're just going to wrap that around the scissors, and you'll just insert that into the wreath. Now, we did not put glue or pins in ours at all. We just poked it in, and look, it really does stay in pretty well. If you think you're going to be handling this a lot, you may wish to use the Elmer's glue, put that maybe a shallow bowl. You would insert the fabric around that, and maybe just dip the tip of that in there. So when you inserted that into the ring, you've got a little bit of a bond between the glue and the ring. The other option would be to, at that point, go in with a pin, find that center, and just insert it in there. Now my question when we were going over the options is, why can't I just do this with a pin? And I wanted to show you what that looked like. When you just try to put it in with a pin, nothing really happens because it needs to go into the ring in order to be bunched up and flared up at the top. So that's really all there is to making this. Now the spacing that we used, in fact, let me show you how far apart we did put ours, just so you can see. And you're probably not going to start right on the top. You might want to start on the bottom. We spaced ours about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, but that depends on the fullness you want. So if you do this here, then when you do the next row, you're going to probably want to come in and do the gap here. So you can see how you're just going to fill in all the way around the ring. Now, it's cute without the bow, but the bow, that's fun. So let's add the bow. That's a lot of fun. Go to the Shabby Fabrics homepage. On the bottom is the pattern download section. If you want to add the bow, and I think it's a really sweet touch, you'll be able to click on the no-sew wreath and bow, and you'll be able to print out these 2 pages. So the first, because of the size, you'll just print out both pages, cut them out on the drawn lines. For these 2 sections, you'll just join them together like that. And you'll, of course, want to get your fabric. This is where we like to use Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. You might not have used this in the past. There's the Feather Light, the Light, and then the Ultra Hold, which I love for crafting. I don't really use it for quilting because it's not friendly with a sewing machine. But for this type of project, it's perfect. So what we like to do, and the Ultra Hold is available on the website as well, What I like to do to have more stiffness is whatever fabric I'm using, I like to put the, I like to double layer it. And what I mean by that is, right now I've got one piece of fabric with Heat and Bond already glued to it, and I'm going to peel that paper off, and I'm going to fold the fabric on top of itself. If you happen to be using two separate fabrics, and maybe you want a reversible bow, that's great. But do put Heat and Bond on both pieces because it's going to give it even more oomph by doing that. So I have this like this, and I'm going to fold this in half and iron it together. Now, one word of caution. I've learned this over the years. The Heat and Bond Ultra Hold has a lot of glue on it. It will ooze out. So if you're going to be, of course, using your ironing board, you might want to put something down before you put this on top of that, and then something else on top of it. So you're not getting glue on your ironing board or on your iron. So something I've learned along the way. So start from the middle, iron that together. Of course, I'm just simulating that. Now you're going to go ahead and get your shape. And this is where I love to use the friction pen. I suppose you could pin this to that, but you know, with the Heat and Bond, it can kind of show you where the holes were, so I prefer not to do that. Simply trace around, and then you'll cut out. And I love the friction pen because you can iron it away and the lines will be gone. You repeat the same step with the bow and the little tie there. And this is the same way. You're just going to peel off the paper, fold it in half, put your shape here, put the shape here, get those all cut out. All right, I've got those done ahead of time. So you'll want some hot glue. Love that hot glue. Again, cover your workspace because that can get messy. Now, I want you to see this. You'll want to, with your glue, you'll know if you're in the right spot when you can't see the shape behind. So you're just going to make sure, put a little bit of glue right there. Oops, see, I didn't cover my workspace. Put a little bit of glue, come in from the other side, same story, a little bit of glue. Great. And then for your knot, you'll just fold it around to the back. As such. Perfect. And then for your center portion, you'll just put a little bit of glue right here. Glue that all together. And then glue that onto the wreath. And we just made a ribbon hanger for the back of the wreath. So that's just the first of the 4 videos from our Valentine series. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the videos from Shabby Fabrics.